Start. Welcome to a Bloons TD 6 video. I'm Aiko, your host for today's episode. Today I'm gonna be showing you how to do moon landing with biker bonds on CHIMPS difficulty. We're gonna do the no micromanagement challenge, is CHIMPS chaos challenge, I would say. But at the end of it, I will be using one ability, just so we already have insurance, but I just want to try to win faster. So I will use the ability, because in the future rounds, and there's also an event going on right now, the fireworks, while recording of this video. But by the time this video is uploaded, the fireworks event will be over. For future video, I will be needing to use ability. It's basically impossible to do harder maps with no ability, just because the maps are too short for the consistent damage to carry me through. So with that said, let's get started. I want to go for the Alchemist start. The Alchemist can go over any obstacle, so Alchemist is probably the best choice. If you couldn't tell right now, I am recording the footage and the webcam separately. So look mom, no hand. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. We're gonna be mainly using biker bonds, which have synergy with bomb shooter and synergy with the mortar. I'm not doing a 2 million pops challenge, but I will be using the biggest one. I'll be using the thickest one, as my viewer from Twitch chat calls it. And by using that, I need to counter black and zebra balloon. The only way I can think of is either with a village or with biker bond, making black and zebra less resistant to explosive. So that is not going to be my downfall, as well as having insurance. It's always good to have an insurance tower. The insurance tower I'll be picking for this map will be the Spike Factory. I need to try to go get the Spike Factory early on, because I do not have any camo detection for my early game. Later on, I will have a heli for the camo detection, but early on, that won't be the case. Early on, my Spike Factory will be my favorite tower for insurance. And I know I want to place down Biker John as early as possible, so he can level up to level 20 soon. But at the same time, losing isn't fun at all. So those two red balloon that leaks is going to be taken care of by the late Spike Factory. Also, Biker Bond is getting a new skin in the new update. The new update is going to be the Odyssey update, as well as quality of life and bug changes, as well as the new skin. You can actually go to the shop and buy more cosmetic using race badges, and yeah, those are pretty cool. I don't do a lot of race, so I don't have a lot of badge, but now you can get badge from Odyssey, which is great. That means I'm gonna do a bunch of Odyssey on my stream. Perfect for beginner and intermediate player to just be a time sinkhole and also understand the game more. For later game player, like late game player or any one that's been playing Bloons hardcore, then they probably will be sticking with the race and will be sticking with, I would say, chimps and challenge editor with challenge. Those are still gonna be the main source of fun for those type of hardcore balloon player. For me, I like to be casual, and I like to just do chimps for now. Co-op is fun for my live stream, but I enjoy doing chimps, just finding out strategy that somehow managed to work in settings of no micromanagement, so I don't need to use any ability or trying to switch targeting constantly. It is a little bit hard for the first 40 round, but after you get through the first 40 round, it's all smooth sailing from there, as long as there's no weakness to the strategy. For this one, for this particular map, the downside of this map is obstacle. There is very little problem if you have a global targeting tower, such as the Ace or the mortar, which is why I'm using the mortar. Anything that can go through obstacle, like the Alchemist and the Wizard, it can fire projectile through obstacle. This map is no big deal. It teaches you how to utilize what tower according to the map. So yeah, this is a pretty favorite tactic and strategy of mine, using on map that has a lot of obstacle. The heli is probably the best go-to method, just because this map only has one entrance. Heli is really strong if it doesn't have to fly around constantly, chasing balloon, wasting time. So if it only has one lane to target, it has highest popping power and highest potential. The cleanup of the heli also has another mission, which is cleaning up whenever any balloon go through the first choke point, which is the main source of damage. And if we do not have the main source of damage located right there, then the map is gonna take around 30 minutes to complete. We are still trying to save time and speed run as many chimps as possible. For those who are watching this on a playlist and they wanna knock a chimp right out of the park one after another. And I also have a couple YouTube idea over on my Discord that people have been submitting. Speaking of which, if you haven't joined my Discord, make sure to go join it. Link is in the description down below. You can go in there, request a map, request a video idea, or even play chimps with me, or play any Bloons TD 6 map with me. It'll be a lot of fun. Would you look at that? Countered all of the camo red just with one spike tower. This is why I love the spike. It is insurance. And the overall strategy for Spike Tower in the end part is an Alchemist and Permaspike. Permaspike, you want to go 0 to 5. Alchemist is going to make sure it is buff and it could pop lead. Without going top path, it can't pop lead. A village is gonna be helping me with buffing the existing tower, such as the mage and the heli. Those are gonna be very useful, and having the ability to see camo is great. By the way, it also depends on RNG where the spike factory puts its spike. So if it's in a bad position, you could be screwed over by the regen green camo balloon right there. So just try again a few more times if you can't do it first try. Cause for the YouTube video, you guys are seeing this like one attempt. But in reality, it took me over 10, maybe 20 attempts just so I can get this video knocked right out of the park. Not as easy as it seems. So being lazy, be doing no micromanagement, we just need to buy the tower whenever we have enough coin and buy the tower in the particular order. It doesn't seem like the payoff of telling everyone like, oh, you should buy this at this point in this time. The cheat sheet isn't paying off as much as I want it to be for time invested. So I might not do the cheat sheet. I'm gonna try for a couple more video and see if the cheat sheet is going to help or not. If the cheat sheet does help, which it does for certain occasion if they're following along one by one, but most people aren't, so I'm gonna stop doing the cheat sheet over on my Twitter for a while. Maybe I'll come back to it once my Bloons TD 6 community on my Twitch and YouTube is bigger. Right now, I believe it is at around 100 player on my Discord and Twitch. And YouTube, very tiny community there. Mostly just Minecraft for now. So I'll try to improve on that and make it into a variety streamer, variety gamer type of content, and a mix and mash of entertainment with education. Hopefully that's gonna be doing my main point of anime, gameplay, and design. Those are gonna be my main really focused tag later on for my branding. For now, I'm just gonna focus on gameplay, and yeah, that's kind of it. How-to video is very, very good for my kind of channel when it's the beginning stage. Funny moment might come later on. Okay, let's talk more about the game now. Alchemist is buffing the wizard and the heli, so there's no problem there. Unfortunately, Biker Bones isn't getting the alchemist buff, but he is close to the village enough that he is getting the village buff, which is great. Even though Biker Bone cannot shoot through obstacle, he still does AoE damage, which does shoot the Moab with inside of the crater. But unfortunately, the crater doing damage to the Moab isn't what I need right now. Also, with the biggest one in this map. The strategy you want to put isn't at the start. You want to put it somewhere onto the alchemist or somewhere a little bit to the left. The targeting doesn't really matter too much because the AoE is so huge. Like the range is so big that it's gonna pop a lot. So the true power of this goddamn tower, this mortar, comes in the form that it can it has a very high piercing. So the more balloon on screen, the stronger this monkey tower is. So if it's only one big bad, it's not gonna do much. But if it's like 10 DDTs or 100 Moab, then it starts stretching through them like 8 layers at a time while piercing through all of them, doing all the damage simultaneously. The piercing is what I love about this tower. It doesn't have much power because 8 popping power, 8 layers, it's not that good. 8 layers is mediocre. I can do better with, like, I don't know, maybe Alchemist or Apache. But for the amount of coin wasted there, not exactly. When it comes to Ice and Mortar, they are the best piercing tower. So this map, really good for that. It combos very well with anything that can, remove fortify. So Shattering Shell will help a lot, but I cannot afford Shattering Shell because I'm going for a Heli and the Perma Spike. If I were to go for Shattering Shell, then I won't have Perma Spike. I want to go for Perma Spike as early as possible, so we're sacrificing Shattering Shell to have Perma Spike. And Perma Spike is very powerful when you get it early on. The earlier you get, the more spike will be grouped up and the more you have. I want something to be added into the game. I don't know if it's difficult to be added, but here's my idea. Tell me how much the Perma Spike pile has. For example, right now I have 1 life. If I hover over that spike, it gives me like a number. Like this spike is 30, this spike is 100 stack pile on top of each other. Because I know it's gonna be that indication for the shadow weight, how heavy the shadow stroke is, like how dark the shadow for that stack is. But at the same time, that doesn't actually give me a number to estimate. It only gives me a tiny clue, like, oh, this is probably going to tank that, probably. So you have to use your eyeball to wing it and use experience to hope for the best. And that's not good. That is gonna allow some panic. Because what if the Perma Spike pile is big enough to tank the entire big bad swarm, but I don't know that it could, so I panic and buy a different tower trying to stretch through it so it can defend better before the Perma Spike, which is what happened here. At round 99, this is a little bit spoiler because I am recording this separately. I like to experiment. I don't like to record my face when I'm doing this kind of challenge because I need to stay focused. I could do that kind of stuff at the beginner, earlier and easier map, but when it is a harder map, you need to really try to pay attention to the balloon location, the coin management, what to upgrade next, as well as your written note. And yes, I do write down what I'm gonna buy on a notepad in real life because tabbing out is pretty bad when you're recording. So I write it down with pen and paper, and I start going through the checklist one at a time. The challenge editor is your friend. Whenever you want to learn to do something, try it out in the challenge editor. It's probably the best thing to do. Like, the advantage of challenge editor over sandbox is huge. Sandbox, sure, you can do a lot of stuff with experimenting and spawning certain balloon to see what works, but in the challenge editor, it is more realistic, like the wave that is gonna come, the amount of coin that you're gonna get, and the balloon health and balloon speed. You have full control over it, as in the sandbox also has its perks and benefit depending on what situation and context. But overall, my personal opinion, I feel like the sandbox has less value than challenge editor. I like challenge editor more. and it does help me more when it comes to making those chimps video. For this strategy, I do not have any way of stalling. My first original plan was to use the balloon crush to stall, but after some consideration of how expensive the balloon crush is, which is very, very expensive, I went against it. I went against the balloon crush. Why would I bother like stalling those pesky balloon when I can just go with a cheaper option that is the middle path? Balloon assassination, and the final one, Moab assassination. That is pretty good. One ability that does 50,000 damage to Moab every 10 seconds, and if you have cooldown reduction like the monkey sub, and you have Biker Bone, oh boy, you're gonna be spamming that ability constantly, which is what I'm gonna do for higher maps, using the assassin, that ability, Moab assassin ability. Just spam it constantly. Tons of damage. It's probably the second best after the super monkey bottom path, Dark Knight. Those shuriken really does shrek them. Plasma shuriken. It's not a ninja, but it still looks like a shuriken, so I'm gonna keep calling it that. So besides those kind of stuff that is good for dealing with Big Bad and Moab class balloon, all the smaller balloon is gonna melt just because of the biggest one. There's nothing that can get past the biggest one. I'm 100% sure of that. The wizard is gonna be also a really good option against everything early to mid game, but later on the wizard does fall off for damage wise. Still really good tower, but for the coin that I'm going to invest, it's not exactly worth it. But you do have a lot of leftover money for this strategy, depending on, like I said before, depending on if you were gonna panic or not. I did panic in this video, but you're gonna see that pretty soon. But we didn't fail, of course, we didn't fail, obviously. But if I'm uploading this video, it's a success. Glorious success. Good stuff, good stuff. For the positioning of this strategy, not too important because we're not going to place down a lot of tower, and there's plenty of room. This isn't some kind of confined area or somewhere there is a lot of obstacle and you need to be pixel perfect positioning. No. This doesn't really matter. As long as all your central main popping power tower is within the village range or within a certain buff radius, you should be fine placing it anywhere. It doesn't even have to be at the start. I'm only picking the start just because it's gonna save me tons and tons of time, because like I said, if you place it in the optimal spot, yeah, you're gonna have an easier time, but you're gonna waste more time. You're gonna have to wait for the balloon to travel to that main source of damage, and that travel time, it's not a lot. It's like maybe 10, maybe 20 seconds per round, but it does add up to a lot more, like 10 extra minutes per chimp map. And YouTube algorithm doesn't really favor long YouTube video, so maybe in the future I'm gonna stop doing the chimps format tutorial on how to and switch to something that is gonna be more favorable for the YouTube algorithm, that is gonna be less than 10 minutes while being short, funny, high octane and fun, and also will provide value. Something like, I don't know, I'm gonna have to figure it out with certain keyword research, because right now I still haven't figured it out yet. There's a lot of potential with the new update, and Bloon is a very fun game overall. Ninja Kiwi is doing a really good job at advertising the game for new player, and more players joining in due to the Steam Summer Sale. $1 for Bloon TD 6, that's the best deal I have ever heard. Unfortunately, we can't get rid of Fortified to speed the process up. You don't need to get rid of Fortified with Shattering Shell, it's just gonna be faster to get rid of Fortified, because later on there's gonna be tons and tons of Fortified Moab coming towards me. So Shattering Shell will pay itself off if you get it before round 80, I would say. Even if you get it after round 80, it's still gonna pay itself off because it saves you like a lot of time. But it doesn't matter. With the biggest one, it is shrinking and destroying all the balloon inside once it pops. As you can see right now, when it is having 2 BFB, it doesn't do that much damage. But when it has tons and tons of balloon inside, it just melts. It just destroys everything. It doesn't matter how strong those are. The piercing truly matters. So let's go through all the rows of every single tower we have on screen right now. The hero, Biker Bond, his job is just to do tons and tons of damage to the Moab when they first spawn. He doesn't do that much damage against it, but the AoE is very nice. I want to use his ability to stun and stall, but this is no micro, so we're not gonna do that. He doesn't really have any weakness cause he can see camo already thanks to the village. The Alchemist only has one job, buffing the Perma-Spike and buffing the Heli, Wizard, and maybe potentially the biggest one. But we don't really care for the for the biggest one to be buffed by the Alchemist. If it's buffed, it'll get a faster attack speed, but it doesn't really do anything else besides that, to be honest. Like, yeah, sure, I do more damage to Moab, but it's only 8 power. That 8 power ain't gonna be enough. It's the piercing that truly matters. For the Wizard, I needed it for early game. We weren't going to survive early game without the Wizard. Everything is so expensive and the Wizard is so dirt cheap that you should just get the Wizard, just because. Same for the Heli. The Heli has one job, cleaning up. The Heli just need to clean up any straggler, for example, a red balloon or let's say a ceramic or a regrow ceramic. We're probably gonna die to camo fortified ceramic regrow if we didn't have the Heli. That is why the Heli is there to help. And the Heli also counters purple because our Wizard cannot pop purple. Now for the true MVP. The biggest one. The biggest one is gonna be the MVP since it's gonna do the most amount of damage here on this map. In particular, since it can just ignore all the obstacle and it can pierce very high amount. And now for the tank, the backline support. This guy over here, the Perma-Spike, tanking and keeping us alive. It's like insurance. I really like saying that word. It's like insurance. It's really good. I like Perma-Spike a lot. There's nothing bad about Perma-Spike. It can pop everything with the help of Alchemist. So all the weakness of this map has been covered. We go over obstacle, we go over piercing, we go over fortified, camo, regrow, and we also go over the range disadvantage, as well as cleaning up and stalling. As for Moab popping power, I'm about to show you this right here. As you can see, we have 21,000 coin not being spent right now. So you could place down another tower to speed things up. But for me and my challenge, I'm just gonna pretend and say, hey, this is good enough. We don't need to place down any other tower. But if you are scared, you can place down a super monkey with bottom path. Yeah, 203. That's gonna help you get rid of all those pesky balloons. So would you look at that? All those DDTs are just gone. I was trying to buy the Wizard, but it doesn't look like I can afford it in time. So I'm like, might as well go with a bomb shooter middle path because it does destroy the big bad very fast. So my first decision was just not to use the ability and just go with golden shock spam, but I think there's not enough time, so let's just use the ability. So we used the ability, use it twice, and then use the second ability of Biker Bond, so we get 2 of them at the same time. And the third one, wait for the cooldown, smack it one more time. So that's 15,000 damage to the Moab with those ability. Very quick burst damage basically, which is exactly what you need for later on. I'm gonna take a screenshot so I can use it as a thumbnail. I'm also gonna show the round 101 for a little bit because of Perma-Spike. Perma-Spike is actually good enough for that to be able to tank. That's the problem. You don't really know if it's possible to tank those balloons inside of the big bag with permaspike until you figure it out. And I'm not fast enough to the escape key because I want black border, not yellow border. Would you look at that black border right there? So satisfying. The best thing ever. So with that said, I am very happy and glad with this video. Yeah. Lovely black border. If you do tap out on the home screen, you're not gonna get black border. You're gonna get yellow border. And that's no fun. So thank you everyone for watching till the end. Comment in the comment section down below if this video helps you in any way, and comment, I watched this till the end, so YouTube algorithm is gonna love me. Like this video if it helps you. Subscribe if you haven't. Join my Discord to get notified whenever I go live on Twitch or upload a new YouTube video. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!